My wife cheated, lied about our son's father, and betrayed me for years, so I made her regret everything. Hey Reddit. I always thought I had the perfect marriage. My wife, Lisa, and I had been together for 10 years, and we had a beautiful son, Jake, who I adored more than anything. I worked hard to provide for them, often pulling long hours at my job so we could have a comfortable life. I never suspected that behind my back, Lisa had been living a lie that would shatter my entire world. It all started when I overheard Lisa on the phone late at night. She was whispering, laughing in a way I hadn't heard in years. My gut told me something was wrong. I let it slide the first time, but then it kept happening. She started being more secretive with her phone, leaving the room whenever she got a message. The intimacy between us faded, and she barely even looked at me the way she used to. I tried to ignore it, but suspicion ate away at me. So one night, while she was asleep, I checked her phone. What I found made my stomach drop. There were hundreds of messages between her and a man named Mark, intimate messages, ones that left no room for doubt. She told him she loved him. That she missed him. That she wished she had married him instead. But the worst part? She mentioned Jake. She wrote, "He looks more like you every day." I felt like the air had been sucked out of my lungs. My son. The boy I had raised, loved, and sacrificed everything for. Was he not mine? My hands trembled as I put the phone down. I wanted to scream, to wake her up and demand the truth. But I needed proof. Real proof. The next morning, I scheduled a secret paternity test. The waiting period was the worst few days of my life. I still acted normal around Lisa and Jake, but inside, I was breaking. When the results arrived, my world collapsed. I wasn't Jake's biological father. The betrayal hit harder than anything I had ever experienced. Lisa had lied to me for years, letting me believe Jake was mine, stealing the right for me to know the truth. But I wasn't going to let her get away with it. Instead of confronting her immediately, I planned my revenge. I gathered copies of the texts, the paternity results, and financial records proving I had been the sole provider for years. I also contacted a lawyer. Since we were married, I had rights, and I was going to use every legal avenue to make sure Lisa faced the consequences of her betrayal. Then came the final blow. I invited Lisa to dinner at her favorite restaurant, acting as if everything was normal. She was all smiles, completely unaware of the storm about to hit. Halfway through the meal, I slid the paternity results and her messages with Mark across the table. The color drained from her face. She stammered, trying to come up with an excuse, but I cut her off. I told her I was divorcing her, that I had already spoken to a lawyer and had enough evidence to ensure she got nothing from me. I had been the primary earner, meaning she wouldn't get spousal support. I was also suing her for fraud, because she had knowingly put another man's child on my name, making me financially responsible. She broke down in tears, begging me not to do this. But I was done. In the months that followed, Lisa's life fell apart. Mark, the man she had been cheating with, wanted nothing to do with her once the truth came out. She lost our home in the divorce and had to move back in with her parents. As for Jake, even though I wasn't his biological father, I couldn't abandon him. I fought for visitation rights, and thankfully, the court granted them. He still saw me as his dad, and I wasn't about to let Lisa's betrayal ruin my bond with him. Lisa had thought she could lie to me forever. She had thought she could cheat, deceive, and get away with it. But in the end, she lost everything, her marriage, her stability, and the man who truly loved her. And I walked away with my head held high, knowing I had made her regret every single lie.